cut this now, so it's about I think it worked out 47 centimeters by, no, 44 centimeters by 27 centimeters, 44 centimeters this way, and then 27 centimeters this way, just on the fabric. That gives me roughly an inch around the outside. I mean, it didn't want to exactly play ball when I was cutting it out, so yeah, that's that. What I've also done is I've also sewn some of this silk straight down the middle, to give myself a big enough piece to work with, because otherwise it was just a tad too short. So I have noticed this is still slightly skewy, so I'm just going to quickly trim off part of this edge, which should make it more or less straight. No, you don't actually have to do any sewing on these. You can just straight away go in with the glue. If you are gluing fabric, I would recommend using a fabric glue, either Fabri-Tac or just an ordinary plain glue. Plain fabric glue. The other thing you can do is you can use tacky glue, but you have to use a very thin layer and let it get tacky before you apply your cloth, otherwise it'll seep through, and you don't want that really. So that's better. Now this is the wrong side, because we're going to use this side, the side that I said I wasn't going to use. This is how things evolve. So you start off thinking you're doing one thing, next thing you're not, you're doing something else. So this is just about the right length to do this. I'm going to get my pins out because I want to pin the fold in this. So I want the first fold to cover that little blemish. I also want the folds to be parallel with the sew line, so at the moment that is not parallel. You could measure it, I'm not going to, I'm just going to use by eye, because again I'm going to put the lace over the edge, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but that's about right. So I'm kind of just guessing where I'm putting this at the moment. Let's see. So that's only going to be a little bit. I think that's going to have to be what it is based on what I've got. So just pin you here. Silk is quite slippy, which is why it's going all over the place. Well, that's not too bad because it's a bit stiffer, this silk, but I still want to get it more or less straight. Now you don't have to go anywhere near as detailed, or with pretty much all of my other fabric books I've glued, I have not sewn. The only reason I'm sewing this one is because of this need to have an edge, I think, on the back of this. Now let's do the other side. Sorry, I don't know if you can see me in the frame. Just evening this up. a little bit. You want it to be around. Again, it doesn't massively matter if you put it directly in the center. And it ends up a bit on further on the back or on the front. That's not a massive issue. But for me, I just want it to be more even this time round. Playing around with getting the pins in the right place. Right, let's see when we put this on. Again, let's clip it and see how it's going to be. Oh, this video is a little bit more in depth than some of the other ones. I'm just going to clip the edges. The other ones are more about style and playing and enjoying the thing. This one has a bit of technical something behind it. Technical something on something. Again, it is not. There are easier ways of doing this. There's loads of videos available on YouTube of people doing no-sew methods. And like I said, I would normally do a no-sew. It's just this time the one piece of fabric that I wanted to use was a silk, and it's not so good at gluing. That's a bit of scrap that I had left over from a past project that I'd done. Right, so this is going to be like this. So looking at that straight away, I can see that it's slightly not straight here, but like I said, where I'm going to put this down, it won't massively matter. And I will glue this on rather than sew it on. So that will kind of cover up a multitude of sins. And let's see what it looks like on the back. The back looks about right. And then the centre, at the moment it's looking a little bit to the top, so I think maybe when we do this we'll just pull this around a little bit. That's about right. So now this is centre in the middle. This is about right. Actually this is probably about right. Actually I think the issue is not actually that pin, it's this one. So let's do this again. There we go. So I'm going to go and sew down here. I'm going to go and sew down here. I'm using the zigzag stitch on this. I've got a really lovely orange zigzag cloth fabric at the moment, not fabric, thread in. It's a vintage one. I inherited from my nan when she passed away, which is great. I inherited a huge selection of spools of real cotton thread, and it's just lovely to use. Bit of vintageness. So I will go and sew that, and then I will be back. And after saying to you that I was going to zigzag it, I've done it straight stitch because my sewing machine was not saying ball. Yeah, the tension's a little bit gone skew iffy on it, and I don't really have time to try and figure it out now, so I just did it straight stitch. It'll do. Let's just get rid of all of these loose threads. Now I don't mind when I'm sewing my journal cards and things like that if there are loose threads on that, but on the cover I like it to be as like neat as possible, so I will cut the threads away. See, the tension's all over the place on my machine at the moment. I'm gonna have to take it to the if I can't work it out, I'll have to go and take it at some point after lockdown, see if they can service it, work out what's wrong. Don't know enough about sewing machines to work out myself. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim down the edge of this silk here so it's more or less flat with this. Right, now I am going to glue this, but what I am going to do is I'm going to trim this a little bit down across the whole thing just to take off this edge. Actually no, I'm not. I'm going to glue the edge down when we do it. So we need our hard card. So what we're going to do is we're going to need to find the center. Now, actually what I will do, I'm going to pin the center where the this line is down the middle. I'm only doing this because there is a line and I do want it to be centered in the card. What I will also do is I will also mark the center of this so that I know where it like tallies up. Where's my pencil gone? Sorry everyone. Right, let's do this. So from here to here is 5 centimeters, so I'm going to just mark it. I'm not going to do it right at the edge, I'm going to do it just a little bit in because I don't want it, it's movable. There we go. 5. It's pretty much smack bang where my washi tape joins, which is great. Okay, so let's put this down. The first thing we're going to glue is we are going to glue the spine. So I'm going to match up these 2 lines so we know where we are. That's it. I'm going to flip this over. I will use Fabri-Tac for this just because it is glue. It's designed for fabric specifically. You don't want it to be too thick. What I would actually do as well is perhaps just do a little layer of tacky glue just to got a pin, a little bit of tacky glue and spread it across so we don't just have blobs of part, we want it to be firmly held down. So let's get these and just give this a really good cover. Not too thick. In fact, I'm just going to, rather than just taking a bit, I'm going to go over the whole thing. Not too thick. That's the best thing with tacky glue, is you don't want it too thick. It holds pretty well and you want it to semi-dry before you start sticking things. You want it to be tacky. Glue is in the name. And then we'll go around the edge and just use Fabri-Tac to kind of stiffen it up. There we go. So I'm going to go around just down here, up the side, down across the top. Up. And then just give it a little bit. Really stick it down. Okay. Now I need to try and line this up again. So we want to make sure that that is in line. Down here is in line, so the two pretty much centered. There we go. So, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to headbutt the phone. There we go. There we go. Now quickly before it ends, you want to fold it over just to see where that is. Yep, that's good. And that's good. It's maybe a little wonky. Let's just tug this way. That's okay. Okay, and like I said, if it is a little wonky, it doesn't hugely matter because you're going to have the piece of lace over it. Right, now next page, again, let's give it a good glob of tacky glue. Can you see? Yeah, you can see good. My sponge is currently good. My glue sponge is still drying, so that's why I'm not using my big cover, because that would be best for this kind of size project. Oops. I hope everybody's enjoying this video. It's a little bit more like I said, technical, and I know I've been all over the place. My decisions have changed on what I'm doing from one thing to another. I'm very sorry. That's part of the creative process though. So, and yeah, I kind of feel that you probably already know that as you've been doing things, you've probably found that you've changed your mind on things. I know originally I said I wasn't going to do the full cover, but I think I'm going to have to in order to do this. The only shame is that my sewing machine is not doing the zigzags, so I can't really finish it how I was hoping to. It's still possible in the future maybe, but I'm a bit sad about that. I might see if tonight I'll sit down with my rule book and pull it out and see if I can sort out what has happened and work out how to fix it. Because it's a digital one. You don't have, before I used to have several, well, on my overlocker certainly, I have several different options for wheels to adjust for the tension. But with because it's a digital one, it only has the one, my sewing machine, and it doesn't seem to be doing much as I twist it. So, right, let's go around the outside. Really get going. You need to have a really good, strong grip to get this glue out. Okay. Get that glue bomb up. Right. So you want to make sure you get it nice and flat. Nice and flat. finish it. I didn't do that on the spine actually. Oops. I should have done that with the spine. It's a little bit, it's a bit hard because this is obviously slightly stretchy, this pillow, because it's made from, I think, I would assume some form of jersey. There we go. Right, last side. This one's gonna, well, I don't know, I'm gonna edit it so it's not quite this I'm gonna edit it so it's not quite so long and you don't get to see as many of my bloopers. Or maybe, I don't know, we'll see how long the video is. If it's a really long time, you don't want to just see me deciding, trying to look for things in my craft room. That's probably the thing which has taken up the most time. It's actually just trying to simplify stuff. Yes, I said earlier when we might go for a walk, which will be nice. We've also got some board games we want to play. My husband recently, it was his birthday recently, and he got a game called what's it called? Quacks of Gwendlingburg or something like that. Anyway, I've never played it myself, and he's quite keen to give it a go, so we're going to be playing that later. See how it goes. I'm quite a gamer. I do quite like gaming, so it's, I like the strategy games a bit more in depth and things. I mean, the family games are great for when you've got family over, because my family are really anti kind of big strategy games. Give me a long game. That's what I like. A game which will take up, I can get my teeth into. And apparently this is a pretty good game. It's on one of the, a lot of people do like it, so I'm going to hopefully enjoy playing that later. My favourite game at the moment is Wingspan. I really like Wingspan, or Everdell. I think I mentioned that the other day. Everdell, the cards are beautiful, really beautiful. Oops. Tacky glue away from it. Ooh, get it all over my fingers. Does anybody out there who crafts, are they able to keep their fingers tidy, or are you like me and end up with like really messy fingers? I can never get like a really nice smooth line with Fabri-Tac. It just kind of globs out wherever it wells. That. So let's just move this down. I want to keep that as flat as possible. So this bit here is flat down. Oops. Yeah, that's good. Very happy with this so far. Now I can take these pins out. I am going to get my Fabri-Tac back. Having said I'll put it away, I'm going to glue on my 2 pieces of lace now. Kind of, you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you're pushing this as far as possible so that you can see how much lace you need to put on there. So let's go straight down. Okay. It's quite nice. I quite like that. I know I change my mind all the time when it comes to crafting. I'm going to flip this over the other way around, push this again like that. You can see it's slightly skew if on this one, but that does not matter because we are going to lace it up. And it's also the back, so, well, you can choose which one's going to be the back. I'm going to choose this one to be the back because all that. And get rid of that big piece of glue growing on the top. What did I do with my other piece of lace? Oh, it's here on the floor. Must have knocked it off earlier. And let's put that. Get rid of that. I really am looking forward to seeing everybody else's covers. So please do post your covers, because it's really encouraging to see other people's covers. Also, there's so many pretty bedding out there. If you're using bedding, that's great. If you're using shirts, sorry, old clothing, that's great as well. But I'm particularly keen to see the bedding. So this is looking good. Right. I'm just going to trim off the excess lacy bits I've got. Now, this bit's going to be the tricky bit for me. Anyway, may not be for others, but for me it is. Oh, I didn't obviously glue that down. Leave that out because I'm going to need that in a second. Let's put a bit of glue on this. So, because this is rather unneat here, I'm going to put this down here, and then I will put a bit of I'll either do that or I could. I'm not too worried about it here or here because we're going to have the sheets over the top, but just across the bottom here where it's where the silk is at the moment, I want it to be as neat as possible, so I think I'm going to glue that like that. So the first thing to do is do a bit of a glue line across here to do the fold, so that, again, I would normally perhaps sewn this, but with my sewing machine not playing happy, I figured I would probably do this like this. Now I'm also going to glue the silk bit. It doesn't need to be as strong, but it needs to be down anyway. So that's that. It's going to come up here. It will go like this. Run away. Also going to go along here too. So I've just glued along this bit of the edge of my lace, the top side of my lace, so I can fold it under, and then the actual book as well, journal. So I've done that. Doing it nice and tight as you can. I'm just going to get this in and really do this edge down here, because this is where it's going to be hard. Because that's where it's got to fold. So you want to make sure it really is stuck down. So I'm just going to okay, so that's the first part of that. Apologies if it wasn't in camera. I'm going to now glue down here the rest of the way. Not so fussed about getting this so neat because it's going to be covered up by the card, so I'm just going to loosely just make sure it's nice and tight. Get this lace under it. Looks like I might need to get out another bottle of Fabri-Tac in a minute. Oh, no, I think I just about got enough probably to do this journal. Just about enough to do this journal. Right, that's one side. Let's do this on here. Just tuck that under there first. And then I'm just going along the other side, where this is going to need to go, and then I'll scooch this over so you can see, fold this under and push it down. And the nice thing about Fabri-Tac is it does kind of really do a good hold. Right, so I've done it on this side. Let's repeat the same on this side. Now I know you couldn't see, I wasn't in frame, so I'll try and do it again for you this side. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just pop a glob of the glue on the underside of my lace, not lace, what do you call it, silk, just so that we've got pieces. It's slightly more secure. And now what we want to do is bring this up. Gotta wait for that to dry a little bit because I'm gonna get it on my fingers. So what we did on up here is we folded it over and then we folded it over again. Now that one is going to be a little bit taller than this one will be because of the amount of excess I had. Again, it doesn't matter. If I was being particularly pedantic about it, it would, but I'm not going to. How much have I got left in this? Okay, let's pop a line of glue here because this is where the fold is going to be. We want to, whoops, it's probably too high, but a bit along here, and then also on the edge here. Okay, roll it under. Take a pin and just sit this under. Now, I'm just going to get all the bits off of my fingers so you don't end up seeing a huge amount. I've already managed to get a little bit on there. Right, so that's that. And you want to pull it up as tight as possible. Here. Where's my pen folder gone? Push it in here, because this is again where the pressure will be, so I want to make sure that's like nice and flat. On the top there. What we need to do, carry on along here. So along the bottom, I hope you can see where I'm going. Keeping it nice and tight. Again, I'm not too fussed about this side because I'm going to have the paper over the top of it. I'm just going to do this last side. Here we go. There we go. Right, let's go back to this side here because that will have dried a bit. Now what I want to do is cut the corners. So I'm going to just, I should have done this beforehand, but use some snips. And bring it right up to the edge. Now this I'm going to cut off straight flat, this bit here. Can you see where I've so I've chopped it off diagonal across here and then cut a line across there. I'm going to do the same on this side. So trim to just outside of the corner. Okay, and then we just want to cut across there. I'd probably cut that a little bit, it should have been closer to that, but it won't matter. I'm a little bit gutted about that actually, but when I've got a pocket over the top of it, it won't matter. What you could do in the meantime, actually, I'm just going to glue that there. I've got that a little bit too. This is me trying to fix an error. That will help anyway. Tip, don't rush things. And now I've got on this side, I'm going to go from the corner outwards, that way I won't mess it up. Do it on this side here. I'm going to go from the corner outways so don't repeat on the other one. There we go. Now it's just a case of gluing. So get my glue out, do my shake to get it to sit to the bottom, fall to the bottom, and then all the way along. Get it nice and tight. I'm stuck down. There we go. And then repeat over this side all along. There we go, nice and tight. And that is the outside cover. Just need to put the inside bit. I just need to work out if I'm going to do that today or not, because I was going to sew on some the silk for pockets, but if I do that, I'm not sure if my sewing machine will cope. We'll give it a go. We'll see. So this would sit like this, and where's the other one? The other page. Oi, 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 me. There we go. And this will sit like this. Just gonna put a bit more on this corner. If you get too close to the corner, just glob a bit of Fabri-Tac or tacky glue into the corner, and that will kind of stop the threads from spooling out and being a pain starting to unthread. Just get yourself some glue on it, glue it on the inside, you don't want it on the outside. There we go. So that's my Fabri-Tac. Right, I'm back. Let's just pull these into.
Eventually,
so
we'll glue it like this.
I've just sewn a straight line across just to finish the edge.
Nice and neat. You won't
now
see much
I want to work out how
there.
deep this pocket's
My
going to
only
be.
decision is if I'm going to decide
Now
to
I've got
try
two. Was it
and
one?
do the.
Okay. Should I? Let's see. Let's just pull the piece out. Right, first let's just trim this down.
Thank you, my love. I'm still yes.
That's right, don't worry. Right, anyway, sorry, carry on. Sorry about that. Getting hungry. So I'm just going to, yeah, I think I'm going to do this. So I'm going to sew it down here and make another one. So I'm just going to make them roughly about the same size. Give it a nice edge. I've got a couple of pieces. I added those.
I'm going to go and do that now, and then I will be right back.
Sit about roughly the same size. It doesn't have to be perfect, but right. It's glue time again. I'm going to move my actual cover out of the way for a bit. Just take out my thing. So this is that one. Let's do this one. So I want it to take up about this much space here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to so I want this to sit pretty much like this. So we've got a decent sized pocket. Pin here. pin here. So I've got 2 pins. That is where my pocket is going to come across from. So it'll be here to here. Okay. Now you can see I've got way too much extra. So I'm just going to trim this right down. Like that. And we don't want any extra bulk if we can help it. Now, rather than sewing, because like I said, my machine's not exactly happy with me at the moment, I'm going to glue. So this helps people who don't have access to a machine. One thing I am actually going to do, I'm going to measure this up again, line these up. So I'm just going to do my cut across there before I start sticking. Doesn't have to look pretty. There we go. Pull this out. There we go. So that's that. So this will now be fine. So you can see that is a nice flat edge. Now what I want to do is do the same again at this side. I'm going to remove this now because we know where it is. I'm going to glue down this here, quite a bit of glue in the corner, and we want to make sure it's nice and tight to the edge as much as it can, because we don't want to have a floppy pocket. Once you've done that, see how it is. That's looking about right for me. See, it's a little bit taut, but when you've got that glued in, that'll just sit nice, and it's just got a nice space there. I'm going to chop off this top bit here, not too far because I don't want it to unfray, and then I'm going to give that bit of a glue. I should just have something to put this upside down so I don't have to keep doing this, but there we go. Just give this nice and flat. There we go. One pocket. Now, because we want the other pocket to be about the same, let's bring in the other fabric and the pocket. So I'm just going to measure it up more or less so it comes in at the same height. Now what you can do, I didn't do this the other time but I probably should have done, is you can just pin it and it won't move around, because the pin hole in the card is going to be covered up by the pocket anyway. And then let's put this aside so we can work out where we're going with this. So at the moment it's too low. So we want to bring that to about there. Instead, I'm just like measuring it up so you can see where it comes to. It's about there. So we're going to pin that as well. Okay. Gonna get rid of all of this excess. Sorry, this video has gone on quite a long time. I am going to chop it about a little bit so that when it goes live, it's I cut out probably a few times and come back in again. So this is probably going to be a later video than I initially intended as a result. But it's the best way I could do. Right. Ooh, got a glue burger. Now, because I've got a pin in there, as soon as you get this like sat in the right place, you want to remove that pin so you don't go and accidentally glue the pin in. Nice and tight again. Really glue this area down here down. And remove the pin. That's it. I'm going to remove the pin straight away. Straight in with the glue. Keep it nice and tight. The end. There you go. You have another pocket. Right, now we can glue the pages in the front, and then we can all give ourselves a pat on the back for doing so. Right, I'm going to tacky glue the back of this again, just like I did with the covers. Okay, I'm gonna have to do both. Actually, I'll just pop some of that back in there. Emma's Crafty screw-ups. I don't think I'm even going to need all this for both. Go on, go in. Carry on and I'll sort that out afterwards. Move this out of the way. She might need it, so it's fine. Oh, sorry, I should be talking. I'm concentrating. Sorry. Yeah, you want to make it so it's not too thick, but just a nice tacky layer. I'm going to use Fabri-Tac around the edges again, just as a nice sealant, because it's slightly better when doing, because we're going to be gluing the edges to fabric anyway. Right, move those off screen. Get the Fabri-Tac out. Scooch one over to the side. Give it the razzle dazzle. Oh dear, sorry Emma, that was a really bad. Yeah, so don't forget to post your covers once you've done them. I really am interested in seeing all of these covers, because I think they're going to be a variety. There's such amazing creativity already coming out on all of the things which I've seen, and some people are posting them on Instagram. Some people are posting them on various different pages. I have got a Facebook group which you can join, and it'd be great to see your creations on there. But otherwise on Facebook, on the groups which we've been already dealing with, we want to centre this like so. And because I've not cleaned my table, I've got a smudge on my silk, which is not good. But I'd probably put a flower or something over the top of it at some point. Now I'm going to burnish this with my thing. I'll make sure I haven't got any glue on the back of this. It's going to be hard to burnish this, unfortunately, because of A, the pocket, and B, the area you're doing is not exactly flat, but you kind of give it an idea. Anyway, right, so that's that side done. So annoyed about that. So it's my own fault for not sort of tidying up my desk or cleaning it up. Right, last one, and we'll call it a day. On the lid goes for this, otherwise it will glue up properly. In comes the page book, and you want to centre it, and down it goes. Give it a good old press. I've managed to do it slightly skewiff, so if I can fix it, we'll do. If not, don't worry too much. There we go. That's gonna be it. Where's me bone folder to burnish? There we go. And that's one finished cover. Hope everybody's enjoyed that. I'm sorry it's been quite a long video and it's been all over the place here, left, right and centre. But that's my finished cover. Obviously eventually we'll have a way of fastening it. And I'm probably going to put some washi tape down here at some point just to cover up, because this doesn't go, these two patterns don't particularly work, but otherwise I'm really happy with that. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry it's been a long one again. If you are enjoying this series, please like the video. If you're looking forward to seeing what we're doing tomorrow, please like the video as well. So tomorrow we're making card toppers, which I'm calling these things. I've been since corrected that it should be something else, but for the time being, a card from what I'm using is this. They're the things which get stapled on the top of a cello bag, so you can do these, and I'm going to turn them into tuck box. I've got a couple of different varieties of them. That's what we'll be doing tomorrow on my channel. Yeah, I'd really love to see your comments, and if you have anything, say hello, tell me where you're from. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye now.